his relationships with people. Superman is a people person. He cares about people, and so when villains and these characters, when they threaten his friends and his family and his loved ones, Superman is put at he's got his hands tied, and so it's all the more impressive when he actually comes out of it, not just because the kryptonite was moved away. So when you have a god-modding character, you can't just have one kryptonite. You have to have more than that. And that way you're able to have your character a little bit easier to defeat, a little bit easier to relate with. One really good example of a god-modded character that went well would be, I gotta find his name, hold on, Ryclod's Ewan? I'm not sure his name, but he was the winner in Ebonspire. He's this character that can't die, he can't be killed, and he likes people, so probably not believable, but still he pulled it off because this character, he interacted with other people. He wasn't in there just to kill everybody, and even though he couldn't be killed, he could still get seriously hurt. Like, you don't have to die to be in serious amounts of pain or to be defeated. And that's what made this character work so well, is that he did get beat up. He did get abused, and like, I feel bad for saying this, but like, if you're going to make a good character, you definitely have to, they have to be able to take a punch, and you have to throw a lot at them. And a god mod is, they're taking too many punches. Like, they're just, it, like, you're throwing all these punches and they don't really care. You want a character that, yes, they can take a couple punches, yes, they can stand up for themselves, but no, they're not going to be all powerful, imposing. Another great thing about Ewan, the story hasn't finished, but he's able to be possessed. So you get this other darker side to the story, and it makes it that much more compelling to watch and read. And I'm trying to sort out my brain. As soon as you get on the screen, it's just all of a sudden you can't think of anything. So the most important thing, if you are still working on your storytelling, don't have a Mary Sue. Don't have a god modded character. Don't even have like a god character. When you have experience, when you've gone through using an average character, then you can branch out into the more powerful characters. The powerful characters have to be able to be used by a powerful storyteller. If you've had no experience and you're just using that character so it's easier for you to win rounds, then it's not the point of OCTs. It's a little bit of a pointless event. Like, you're just putting your character in there to win a prize, and then it's no fun for anybody. So if you can get through something with an average Joe, with somebody who you'd pick up off the street, with all their flaws, with all their advantages, you'll be so much better. And then if you do get that all-powerful character, you know how to deal with them, you know how to bring them down a couple notches, you know how to make them win and not make it look like it was a piece of cake. Like, you can actually bring some struggle into the story, you can make that story more compelling, and then you'll have your readers more intently focused on your characters because they've realized how well they're doing, like, not just because they're all powerful, but because they're actually thinking, because they're doing something more than just throwing their fists around. If you guys ever want something fun to try, there's a Mary Suification meme. I'll see if I can post the links later. And then there, Chico, she's a dragon artist on here. She's made her own Mary Sue meme. You take the Mary Sue litmus test online, and then you see what your characters are like. You see how this meme is or this litmus test is a little biased against superpowered characters, so just be warned about that. But if you get a chance to take that test, you can find out, like, even just going through the questions, you can find out, is your character too powerful, or do they not have enough flaws, or are they just have too many. Like, you can have anti-Sues, which are sometimes worse than Mary Sues, because it's like, nobody cares about this character because they're disgusting, you don't want to care about them. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, before you try for the all-powerful, all-perfect character, take somebody who's a little rough around the edges. Take somebody who they can get beat up. They can get easily hurt. That way, you'll be so much the better storyteller when you come out of the OCT. Whether you win or not, you'll still have a character that people can care about and people are interested in their lives. And okay, I just had a couple more notes here before I leave you guys. For the Mary Sue, what you want is a character. It's not that you take a whole bunch of really good ideas. The better thing to do is take one idea and elaborate on that, so they have a forgotten past. Yes, that's been used many times before, but if you elaborate on that, you can get a character. Jason Bourne was probably a good example. He did marry Sue a little bit, but the story focused on his forgotten past, and that made it more interesting. You got to be careful with some of those things because lots of them don't stand out because everybody's doing it. So find something that maybe's been used a lot, but hasn't been used in a certain way, or it's one of those extra tidbits that nobody really adds onto their story. A better character is somebody that starts weak, goes stronger, somebody who learns something. Learning something is the best thing to do, because if you get a God-modded or a Mary Sued character, very soon the story gets very boring. It's the same thing over and over again, and you have no new material to work with. When you have a weak character, you have more material to work with. You can make the story continue for a lot longer than a Mary Sue or a God-modded character. Something also is Mary Sue's and God mods seem to have everything happen to them. A good character is a character that makes things happen. It doesn't have to be huge, but maybe they're the one that pulls that prank. They're the one that goes and looks into that haunted house. Like, the character that actually does something is the one that will have the big adventure. The one who just sits and waits for something to happen is somebody who's not going to have anything happen. The other thing you need to keep in mind is about babying characters. I've seen this done quite a bit, is where an artist or a storyteller, they love their character so much they can't do anything to possibly hurt them. A character does not come out of an adventure unscathed. Everybody gets a scar from anything in their life, like mental scars, physical scars. The more scarring you give a character, the better, honestly. If they come out there completely squeaky clean, like, you have to wonder what happened. Another character that I found came out squeaky clean quite a bit was Gara, but he was very mentally scarred, and so he was able to be a more in-depth character. Yeah, so abusing your characters, it doesn't sound like the best idea, but often it works a lot more than letting them get the easy road. Give them something, let them make wrong choices, let them make bad decisions, give them something that they don't know how to handle. You'll like your character a lot better for that, and they'll grow more because of that. And got a little bit left here. Unless your character's an actual god, usually avoid god modding. Basically, I'm going to say that right there. If you do end up going against a god modded character, use that to your advantage because your character looks so much better because of it. And yes, these characters, Mary Sue's and god mods, are a lot more difficult characters because if you don't know how to do it right, then you just get a blatant story that everybody else has already told. So make sure you know how to do the pathetic characters first. Pathetic, sorry, bad word. Make sure you know how to do the characters that are weak, that are average. If you start with them first, your storytelling will be so much better because you know how to make a character get through something without resorting to, like, oh no, suddenly a new superpower. Like, if you know how to do it without that, you are so much the better person for it. So hopefully you learned something from that. If I have anything else, I'll include it in a next little segment. I'll put this all together and then I'm going to stick it on YouTube because I won't actually be able to be there. But hopefully this helped you out a little bit. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the convention because this is a really cool idea and Savari really went through a lot of work. So anyways, enjoy and I will chat with you guys later.